I am you and everything else. As I come home to myself over and over again, as I stay in my center, I see within my own eyes the eyes of the all. In my acceptance of what I see, I accept what I see in everybody around me who I meet. I accept within me is the greatest potential that there is. The potential to know, to heal, to be, to transform, to breathe and to live and die and transcend. I am you and everything else. Within me, in my heart, is the center of all things. I live in my center from this place, and within my center, I feel connected to all. I feel the heart of all that is. I feel the heart of all that is beating in small and large and forever ways. I feel the heart of all that is dying and being reborn at the same time. I feel the heart that is moving like a train on a track that goes on and on. I watch this, I am this, and I know this. I forget this when I wrap up in the illusion of the mind that told me all the ways that I was supposed to do and be. I see falseness of this notion now, and I see how it interweaves in the confines of the loud drama of society and the collective masks we put on each other and ourselves. So many expectations and fear that create complicated neuroses in the mind about the ways to be according to the idea of separation. In my heart, I let all of this go. I let all of this go, and I live with myself in my center, in the center of all that is. In center, I know only of truth. Truth that speaks from silence and that knows only of love and the simplicity of that truth that I hear in the center of my heart. That truth is subtle and silent, yet 1,000 times more powerful than any complicated or convincing illusion of the ego world. From the center of my heart, I know the true nature of things. I know the true nature of existence itself. I know all that I need to know about anything at any time. I find stillness in myself and I listen to the messages of my heart. My heart that beats with the collective heart. My heart that beats with God. God gave me my heart, and my heart beats to the rhythm of the cosmos. My heart beats and I breathe in and I breathe out. Like how the cosmos breathes in and breathes out. Like how waves rush to shore and rush back again. Like how the moon waxes and wanes. Like how trees grow tall and die. Like how rain falls and nourishes the earth. Like the changing seasons of summer to winter to fall. I breathe in life and I breathe out life. I live in my breath. I live in this awareness of life expanding forward and pulling back. I allow myself to expand forward in my life and I allow myself to pull back. I honor when it is time for me to be an in-breath, and I honor when it is time for me to be an out-breath. In the center of my heart, I know when it is time to do this or to be. I know. In between the in-breath and the out-breath is the still breath that is inside of me, watching me inhale and exhale in my center. It's like how in between each polarity of existence is the middle watching both. When I stay in the middle in my body, I see that I am neither the in-breath nor the out-breath, but that I am both. I am in the breathing and I am out of the breathing. I am existing beside my breath, my thoughts, my identity, and my ego. I know that I exist. I exist beyond my breath. I exist limitless. I am. In my existence, I know things. In the center of me, beyond any imagination, any stories, I know how things really are. I know how people really are to me. I can see through their illusionary masks of ego when I see through my own, and I see my center, and I see their center, and how their center interacts with me. My center is neutral, unbiased, and truthful in the stillness of the love of my heart. When I become more and more acquainted with the silent, subtle, and soft language of my heart that speaks from an empty room of existence beyond what I think or what I know, I hear a wordless wisdom that is free of any agenda. When I live from this place, I meet the world from this place, and I am liberated from any internal or external manipulation against self. Sometimes I remember how my illusionary masks of ego are fear that I inherited from my family and from society and from the world. I know that this fear and trauma limits my capability to move into center if I get stuck in cycles of pain. And I forgive myself for that because I know how convincing the fear can be sometimes. I have so much compassion for myself when I feel fear like this, and even in the fear, I reach into my heart and perceive my fear with love and gratitude for the illusion it provided me to remember my experience of being a human of dual nature. I thank this fear and this trauma for the lessons that it showed me in all the ways that I separated from my center of self. I allow myself to cry tears of joy, sadness, and redemption as my center of self sees the illusions of fear that I believed in for so long. I know that they are illusions now, and I take back all parts of me that look into those mirrors and get lost in them. I take back all those parts of me now as I realize they left me just to come back to me, so I can remember the experience of believing in separateness and fear to once again remember love. I realize now that the experience of separating and oneness is God's experience of spirit itself, seeking to remember itself through its own forgetting. And by me experiencing trauma and healing, I walk in alignment with the dance of God. As I remember my masks in witnessing the center of who I am with humble gratitude, I see the masks other people put on themselves too. And I find it interesting as I witness them forget that they are wearing masks and identify with them completely. I find this amusing or distressing, as I know that their masks are different from who they are. Nevertheless, I allow these people in their masks to learn on their own how to take them off. I stay in center of my heart no matter what, and witness those who don't remember being in their masks. I stay in center, and doing so might inspire them to learn how to find center on their own as well. I am beaming my own light to the world, and how honest and in center I am beaming with myself. I allow myself to be enlightened and to allow more light in every cell of my body. My radiance is the deepest quality that teaches the world. Beyond any story that anyone tells me, beyond any story of my own ego, I stay in my own radiance. In my own radiance is my highest truth. In my own radiance is my deepest wisdom of self. And in my own radiance is the inner light of the universe. From the place in my body and the cumulative effort of maintaining my own inner radiance through my spiritual evolution, I can begin to see that even the inherited fear that I inherited from my parents and society and the world, I can see through that and know that it was just fear that they were carrying. Fear that goes back and back and back and back and back to when earth became harder to live on and remember love. This fear was planted from deep darkness and seeds of darkness that limited humanity a long time ago. I release any need to further perpetuate these seeds as I see the fear that I inherited as an outer layer of illusionary darkness and an option rather than truth. And in this, I can forgive evil for the way that it seeks to perpetuate fear. I can have empathy and forgiveness for the way that people get caught up in the illusionary masks of ego and complications of the stories that they tell themselves about the nature of the world. I avoid getting stuck on these perceptions and stories when I remain true to my center, and in my truth, see these stories as they are. In this, I forgive the people who instilled fear in me and made my mind out of tune with the unconditional love of God. I also see evil in center as a contradictory force of nature in the universe that seeks to perpetuate darkness, confusion, and suffering. In neutral compassion, I see evil as a resistance to the in-breath or out-breath of God. I see evil as a resistance to life or to death. In this third dimension, this resistance perpetuates the illusion of separation. Therefore, I see evil as a catalyst for awakening. And yet I also know that evil seeks to perfect itself over time in the eyes of God, that dissolves it back into the invisible and inevitable life, death, and life that we wield until we all become all again. In this awareness, I know of love. I know of love so deep and so powerful that anything it touches can transform into more love. I know of love in my heart that connects to the source of all things, and in this connection of love in my heart, all things around this center of connection that are different from love dissolve. I do this in the utmost silence awareness, for this exists beyond words or thoughts or ideas. This is being and witnessing and continuing to be and to see and to know and to allow my own sight to permeate every illusion and let it slip away like fabric, dissolving into water, until all that is left is me and Source. I am my soul.